So I booked the day off just to do some stuff. I've got 15 YouTube videos I've filmed and edited, and I've now got enough. I have no idea when this is coming out, but as of right now, I've got enough to go forward to past Christmas. But because I'm working late anyway, and leading up to Christmas, there's obviously things I want to do. So I messaged the Stoke rewiring, because I know I never got the chance when I did the kitchen. There's a plaque on the front wall that needs going on with the name. It's all illuminated. It's got a day and night sensor on it. We were going to tap straight off the lantern, which is a lovely picture here, that goes through, but it's a switch supply. So I'm going to try and find something in here, because I got sent some stuff from Whisker the other day. I want to put the glands together. There's two armors coming up into the lantern. I want to put them together to do a loop in, loop out, do a new flex that goes up to the lantern, so that can be turned on and off by putting the Kinetic receiver that's currently in the fuse board, the Navitas board, put that within the lantern so that can be switched separately for the time being while we've got permanent power up to the gate. So I thought, oh, I'll do that. Woke up this morning, there's loads of snow, there's ice everywhere, midday to go outside, but I've got my thermals on for the first time. Like I said last video, chose the perfect time to not be fat anymore, didn't I? Right, box and whisker. I'm not the only one that gets this. Every now and then, people, Instagram, YouTube, I just get a nice delivery from Whisker with some products that we're going to show off. It's like I say, it's not sponsored, and it's not just me that gets them. I just forget to put pictures of them on Instagram. Sorry. We've got ourselves M25, M32, M20S. This is how they come. Look at that, it's a brickwork. Like, you wouldn't even know that wasn't a wall. In the new year, when a bit more, he's not spent as much money on doing everything. There's a bit spare funds. We're going to run a brand new supply from the Navitas board out the other side, lift a few slabs up, run it all up the wall, which I will show you in a bit, to a box out there that's going to be a gate supply, a lighting supply, and all that sort of stuff. But for the time being, to get this up and working for Christmas, this is what we're going to just, little adaptation. Picked the wrong day to do this, so we're here. They've had a lot more snow than we have. This is my setup, this is the lantern. I'll run you through exactly what I said earlier. Probably shouldn't have gone through it right at the beginning. I should have just done it while I was here, but anyway. Snow, there is a snow shovel I'm just gonna make, because I'm gonna be in and around the bottom of the lantern, going backwards and forwards here. There's the cable. I'm just gonna shovel a bit of snow. Never used a snow shovel before. Hands like blocks of ice, but that's fine. That's a plumber's van. Oh, oops. That's the plasterer's van. I'm not going to do it to his. Oh my. So from the last lantern video, this is our supply in, which is switched. This cable here, and this lovely bend, which we tested, is the cable that's just hit me in the knuckles when it's really cold over there. So this arm is glanded in the bottom, it's taped up, and I worked off the lantern video that this lantern especially, the shape of it, the style of it, was an old oil-filled lantern. Fabulous, just let the customer know that. Added it to the bill. Undo that tape, we'll take that gland off. Plan is, this side, we'll bring both the armors in, we'll gland them into the Whisker box, cable tie that into place for now, flex to join back onto this flex, redo that as best as we can, because I don't really want to be taking the top of this light off. And then within the box itself, we're going to put the receiver, so the Kinetic receiver will just turn this on, but leave the loop supply here that goes over to the sign. And like I was saying, this is just temporary for now. The light sign is going on this side. It's on the other side, but I need to cover it up because it's got some information on it. We're going to gland this into a box. We're going to drill through, put flex through. So it's got a photocell on it, so it illuminates it, because down here, there's no street lights. It is pitch black. The fact it gets dark at 3:30, 4, any delivery drivers come up, looking at the front of the house, there's no name or number, so they struggle with it. But what we're going to do in the future is from here, from the back of the fusible, we're coming across, bringing a proper big boy armoured up to here for a permanent supply. It's going to have lights on the top, it's going to have the sign at the front, and it's having electric gates. So hence why we're just doing this temporary for now in the winter. God, it keeps snowing on me.
Do you know what Kuba you've
So it will fit in, but it's going to be snuggy. I'm going to go and see if I've got a bigger one in the van. It's like I say, it's just a temporary thing. So the problem is all the wind keeps knocking these trees, and everything keeps coming down bit by bit. We've got another 308. We've got 407, and whoa, we've got a 607. He's compensating. So that's the smallest one we've got. I'm quite happy that will fit in that one. It sounds like there's some sweets inside as well. Not sweets. And I am really sad as well, guys, because it was snowy. I put the tool bag over there and took a picture of it in the snow. I know, that's cute. It's a good angle, isn't it? I've just realised the base of it is just strips of glass. I'm trying not to fall to my death here. Yeah. I'm just going to do the locking ring and do this tape. I'll see if the camera fits inside the light, actually. That'd be decent, wouldn't it? Yeah, no, it doesn't. I was about to throw them, then that would have been stupid, wouldn't it? Someone's solid. Alright, I'll show you where we're at. Plumber's trying to get, say hey mate, he's trying to get into his van. His deadlock's broken. We pulled this all up and out. The issue, so this is, try and focus in on here, this is the good one, but this is the one that's been kinked over the years. And the armoured itself is broken, so I'm going to have to cut it back a bit to try and get some glanding off it so we can take an earth over. With the spare one, we do have a bit of slack if I pull it, so it's literally getting up here and just chopping this back enough so I can get a fixing on it and bend that round. But it just seems to be, I know the camera angle's awful, sorry guys, extremely brittle. I mean, you can see where it's, you can see there where it's snapped. Day is already ruined. I have wasted half an hour of my day just. So if we go back to the video of me a couple of weeks ago for you guys, installing the cable up through the loft and down behind the gutter for the Hypervolt. In the loft somewhere, I lost the end of my camera, the magnetic tip, which is the wide angle lens, which really did annoy me because I've always tried to look after my stuff and it's just a magnetic tip and you only have to tap it or whatever, it does fall off. Not the greatest design in the world, fine, whatever. I've just gone to go on my camera a minute ago and the new one I've just bought off Amazon, £35, is now missing. So I've just spent some time going through the snow here, clearing it all out, figuring out where it was. The last place I had it was when I was up the ladder, hooked the camera to my side in my pocket, came down, put it on the side and it had gone. Whatever. The Shield Gland Pros, why does that sound wrong? The Shield Gland Pro, which is these, obviously not your typical SWA gland. These are, they're very similar to, is it the Storm Gland? I can't remember what, is it SWA that makes the Storm Gland? It's a similar thing where you don't have a shroud anymore. It's all a plastic connection. It's all, I would rather fit these every day of the week rather than the old classic ones with the shroud. My plan is the arms are going to come into the bottom. I've knocked the top off. Up there with the bottom plate where it was glanded through before, I'm going to do a bush, which I've left up there, with a seal on the top. It doesn't need to be IP rated on the top because it's physically within the fit in itself. It is glass. Obviously this is just temporary. I'm going to do a little gasket off another gland I've got in the van, kinetic switch, and then we're going to have to just heat shrink the flex that comes down from the lamp holder itself just to come through to bring into here. The armour cable that goes across and feeds there was hideously rusty. I've stripped it back. I've used the armour slice to get rid of it. I would have filmed it, but I was just too busy being in a mod myself, losing my stuff again. Customer said, oh, well, you know, when the snow goes, I'll have a look for you. I've probably moved it. I was moving all the snow with the snow shovel, trying to sieve through it, and I've probably lobbed it further away, but never mind. Great. And then I'm going to use the little D-rings to link the earth through in a little bit because the cable supplying it has an internal earth. It's a 3-core, but then the cable going out over there is a 2-core. So we'll use the surround, whatever, I know what I mean, is the earth. So that's where we're at. We've got the 2 glands in. We've got that on. Hopefully you can see that. I get to use my brocket for the first time in a very long time. I've put a little seal on top of it, if you guys can see, because I can't. It was just so we've got somewhere to gland it onto, mount it, but the piece of metal that it is on its last legs. But this will give me now enough room to do my receiver. So what I'm going to do now for this bit, obviously because I'm not going to take the light apart, is it's a shame that realistically the cable's not far off, but I'm just going to get some crimps on this, extend this off. I've got some 1.5 or 1 mil black flex, heat shrink this up, bring this into the unit, and we can get the receiver up and done. Sorry if you guys are uncomfortably close to my face. seem to have mislaid the lens that I just brought, and I'm not annoyed at all. It's just so we've got a black flex, we've got a heat shrink. I don't have any black, we have a grey, we have 3 crimped all of these through, and I triple checked that these would all fit together because I was going to stagger them in this heat shrink like so. And I've just had to cut the cable tie that I put on my heat gun last night because I was so cold in the van when I was doing the last video, outside lights, that I had to turn this on, hold the trigger down and put my hands and face and feet in front of it. Not my feet, or my face. Where's the end of it gone? Oh. That'll do, donkey, that'll do. Definitely not as good without the teat. I'm definitely going to zoom in on my face now when I do that in the edit. It was on my seat in my van, it must have fell off this morning before I even got out of the van, so. Anyway. Kinetic switch is up and done, I'll run you to it in a bit. I've linked that through, but next job, I need to get the sign on, drill at hideous angle. But because, like I said earlier, this side is temporary, it is going on to the other side, I want to try and leave as little damage as possible. So the sign that we've got on the back, it's like a through stuffing gland connector, but we've got a good space. I'm going to drill through on the angle through a piece of mortar, and I'm going to attempt to pop through in this corner. So I'm not blowing bricks out because of the difference in angle, because that's where the centre of the drill mark's going to be. I mean, I could bring, this is what I mean. I have an idea, but then we think about it, trying to think logically. This cable is more than long enough to make off. And if we drill through at the mortar, I know I'm going to pop through at the mortar from the other side, just drilling it flat. I could put the whisker box there and put 1 or 2 cleats in within the mortar. That means, as of when this gets removed, put to the other side, it's very easy to patch this back up. It's not going to damage the brickwork. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to drill through in this angle now. I'm glad you guys are here, otherwise I wouldn't have figured that out for myself. I am cold. Oh, nice fresh new blade. Oh, that was fun. Right, I've messed up. Customer's glaring at me. The camera might be a bit misty because it's freezing. He's got it with a big pole. Once I did the lantern, did the video, I did a continuity across to here. But the continuity I did, obviously, it was a last minute thing. It was getting dark, it was getting late. I was like, yeah, it's linked through, because I linked through Live and Earth up here and then tested Live and Earth, almost like an R1, R2, to me to prove continuity. Which realistically, it should have been an IR, or it should have been a wander lead linked from here up to there. Because the cable that leads from the lantern down to this, which I've just done here, isn't the same cable. Even though all the other armours in and around the place all are newer 3-cores, this one up here, which we've connected, is an old 2-core, and the one down here is an old 2-core, and the old one over there is an old 2-core. So I did the test before we powered up, because I wanted to double check. Installation resistance was not very good because everything was connected. I thought, well, that's not good. We won't turn the power on. And then we just done some digging. So coming down here where the armoured, and these are poured concrete, and the armoured is physically run. So you see the plastic bag, the armoured's on top of the plastic bag, tucked under here, and that runs across to that, which then goes to somewhere else. And the armour cable up there, which is the old one, does not feed that and doesn't go anywhere else. So I'm not going to try and power that up, 1, because I don't know where it leads to, and 2, I can't test it. So I can only presume logically that the newer armour cable that feeds it currently is the new feed. The feed that was looped and left out was potentially the old feed that goes back to the house. But the problem with that is why the hell did they leave it there and not cut it off or isolate it? We don't have an access panel on that. So I've spent the entire day running off a job that I said I tested, and that cable is wasted and doesn't work. Sound. Well, that was a complete waste and utter time of my entire day. Customers asked me how much he owes me. What you do? I mean, we have just said because of the feed that needs to go into the new side, could not happen for a year or two, that we're going to replace the armoured cable from the lantern going across to the garden. So the whisker boxes that I've put in both sides we'll still reuse. The feed for the Connect switch up in the box now we'll still use. The front light and the position we'll still use. So the only thing that we won't use is the old cable that's in the floor. So it's not all to waste, but it's just stupidity on my part of testing something at the end of the day as an add-on as I was leaving when I was already tired and it was cold and it was dark. But it is what it is. It's my fault completely for not thinking first thing this morning of, I know I've got to do this, why don't we just test it? Because in my own head I've already done it and everything was fine. It is what it is. The lantern's back on now. I've reconnected everything up the way it was off the original stuff, just disconnected that armour cable in it. But anyway, it is what it is. I've said that a lot today. Love you, bye.